Guys, as the BTC video uploads, I'm going to work on this alt video for you guys and kind of do the same thing I did with the BTC video. Basically, I just want to go over what I'm looking at the EMAs, the RSI, the MACD. And like I said, a lot of this stuff is repetitive, but the more and more that I say it, the more and more that I explain it, you guys will start catching on, even though for those of you that just joined this group, it seems like a foreign language, and for those who have been here already a few weeks, will kind of appreciate that of what I'm saying right now. That you will start getting it. Those that hear this for the first time are going to feel a little bit overwhelmed, as I did. So I know where you guys are coming from because I felt the same way when Mr. Mo used to try to explain this stuff to me, and it feels like it's just they're speaking a completely different language. And truly, that's exactly what it is. You're gonna learn a language of lines and bars, and when you learn how to read that language, you will understand what it is to be a trader. And that's what's going to make you guys very profitable, hopefully in the real near future. So let's start with ETH, the daddy of altcoins. We're at 197, so let's expand this here and see what the price action. I haven't reviewed these beforehand, so I'm going to review them with you. I didn't get a chance to look at them before. I just came back from dinner. So let's look at the 1 hour, 197. So we've had a little bit of a struggle to maintain the 9 EMA. That is our key EMA to stay above. And as you can see, we've been just falling underneath and getting lower and lower and lower up until 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we were able to jump on top of the 9 EMA. We've been able to sustain that. And not only that, but 3 hours ago, we closed above the 30 EMA and have been able to hold that 30 EMA position. And right now, our difficulty is that 50 EMA. And you guys will notice that I always bring out that 50 EMA, and that's usually a very, very strong EMA to break through. So we want to see what we just saw with Bitcoin in the previous video, where it finally breaks out of the 50 EMA and closes above the 50 EMA and uses it as a new support. And as that happens, it just gets a little bit stronger and a little bit stronger, allows the indicators to cool off and hopefully go for the next leg up. I know many of you have read my Twitter post about ETH, being that Mr. Mo found a gap last week at $148. I just want to reiterate this to the guys who just joined or haven't heard me mention this before. My gap charts does not indicate an imminent drop. What it means is that there is a gap between the candle bodies. Wicks are not included in this. Wicks are not considered a fill, but the candle bodies themselves have a gap between them, and eventually 91% probability that they will fill. Now, those are really, really good odds. Anybody who's a gambler will know that they will take on a bet with a 90%, 91% probability. So that's why I use the gap theory quite a bit, and I use it to my advantage. And most of you guys that follow me on Twitter have seen the success rate that I have utilizing that indicator. That is not the only indicator that I use, as many of you already know. That is just one of the indicators that complement my other 3 or 4 indicators that I use to read the market. But I just wanted to make sure you guys know that if you have positions right now on ETH, or you plan on taking positions on ETH, or you see me in another day or two taking a position on ETH, it doesn't mean that that gap chart that I posted is invalidated. It just means that it's not time yet. For Ethereum to drop, what, 50 bucks, it's going to take a pretty big event on Bitcoin side for that to drop, to cause Ethereum to drop $50. And in my opinion, and we'll see how close I am to my opinion, is it's going to be towards the end of the month in September when the ETF gets denied, because I am very certain that it's going to get denied because we need a catalyst. We need a very strong catalyst, like I mentioned before, to bring the price down. In the meantime, we're going to see a lot of sideways action. We're going to see a really tight range on Bitcoin, and hopefully we can get one of those ranges like we had in July, and we had one in August as well, where Bitcoin went sideways for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and allow the alts to go up 40, 50, 60% on some of them. Hell, some of them went up 400% like Nano, 200% like VET. Those are hard to know when they're going to happen. You can't predict those types of runs. So don't beat yourself up, guys, when you see coins making those runs. The ones who are already in that coin are going to benefit, but trying to chase that run is really, really dangerous, which is why you never see me chase or go into coins that have already gone up 200-300%. And they might go up another 200%, but we just don't know that. And for me, I rather protect my capital, and there's so many other alts that I can go into that I don't want to risk my capital. So that's why you never see me going into what I call pump coins. Not necessarily that they're pump and dump coins, but they're coins that are very hot at the moment. They've already gone up 200-300%, and the likelihood of them continuing to go up versus dropping is very minimal for my risk reward to go into those alts. So let's look at the indicators here on ETH real quick as far as the RSI is concerned. The RSI is following basically the pattern as you see now. It is on an uptick. It's looking good on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, however, it does not look good. And when the 4 hour doesn't look good as far as the EMA, you can always count that on the other time frames, the EMA is going to be above the price action. If it's above the on the 4 hour, but it's below on the 6 hour, then anything higher than the 6 hour, it's going to be below it. So let's look at the 6 hour. There you go. It's right underneath the 9 EMA. And there it goes on the 12. There it goes on the 1 day, and there it goes on the week. So always, you don't have to look at every single time frame and waste time doing that. You'll learn your own shortcuts. So when I look at the 4 hour EMA, on the 4 hour time frame, the 9 EMA, and it's underneath, I don't need to click on the higher time frames because there's nothing there that's going to tell me anything different. The only thing it's going to tell me is that the space between the 9 EMA and the price action is just going to get bigger and bigger. And let me give you an example of that. Let me click into here to make it a little bit bigger and easier for you guys to see. Now watch how the space between the 9 EMA and the price action gets bigger and bigger. You'll see here it's starting to break away. Look at the 12. It's further away. You notice that? See how it breaks away and breaks away? And that's going to happen in every single altcoin and every single time that the 9 EMA hits a certain time frame. Whatever that time frame might be, you're automatically going to know that whatever time frame you look higher than that particular time frame, the gap is just going to get larger and larger. Now look at the 1 day, look at how big that gap is, and so forth and so forth. So that's just a little tip so you guys don't have to waste time looking at every single one of the time frames that are there. There's no longer need to look at the higher ones. So let's just go to the 4 hour real quick to look at the RSI. RSI is on pretty much neutral. There's a little bit of a bullish uptick on the MACD, which is a good sign. Right now, we're waiting for the 1 hour basically to get above that 50 EMA. When the 1 hour time frame candle closes or gets above the 50, you know that on the 4 hour, it's going to be equivalent to the 9 EMA. And look at this. Let me snap a line here real quick, just so you guys show you in perspective. I'm going to put Option H, and it's Alt H if you're in a Windows. If you're in a Mac, it's Option H. So that line there gives you 199.31. That line is going to stay there when I click on the 4 hour. Now look where that line lands. Let me zoom. Look at that. It's right above the 9 EMA. Again, I don't have to waste so much time looking at the higher indicators. When you learn this stuff, it really saves time, and it's really going to help you when you have 15, 16, 20 trades going at the same time. And I can't stress this enough. I know I sound like a broken record, but these are the type of exercises that I want you guys to learn, because I will not have the time to teach you this when the bull run starts. And I anticipate the bull run to start sometime at the end of this year, quarter 4 of this year. So I want you guys to learn as much as you can. I'm going to continue to repeat the same things over and over so you guys can understand and it'll start making sense. But this is a really cool shortcut that you guys can start applying yourselves and try it, and you'll notice how it works out every single time. So I know when looking at the 1 hour that if I'm looking at the 50 minute here, that as soon as that closes, that next one's going to jump up and it's going to get me to the next level. So that's it for Ethereum right now. I know you guys are going to want to ask me, is it a buy, is it a hold, what should I do? Right now it's a no trading zone. The chart, the video that I just did for Bitcoin, everything is going sideways, and there's a really tight channel that they're keeping her in. So at this point, I don't anticipate Bitcoin going to 5,800 because of that big wall at 62. The only thing I'm waiting for is for these alts to start giving me these confirmations. So even though this one gave me a really good confirmation, there's not a lot of volume. So let me show you here. See, there's not a lot of volume for it to really start reversing. So right now, when Bitcoin goes up, you see the alt going up. When Bitcoin goes down, you see the alt going down. But there's going to come a time very soon when you see Bitcoin, and you've seen it before in the charts, where Bitcoin goes sideways, doesn't move, and then the alts start moving. So that means that the confidence is back in the market. People are not too worried about Bitcoin going too high or too low, and they start applying their funds to these alts. And when you get that accumulative feeling throughout the market, you'll see more and more people going into the alts, creating these spikes on these alts for us to play. Right now, there's still not enough volume for me to want to take on any of these trades just yet. So let's look at the next alt. XLM is looking good right now in the 4 hour. It has a really nice uptick here on the 4 hour on the RSI. It's got a nice candlestick on it's touching, it's not quite above the 9 EMA, but the same exercise that we did in the previous one when we were looking from the 1 to the 4 can be applied backwards. So I haven't looked at the 1 hour one, but I can tell you right now that looking based on this right here, this tells me that if I look over the 1 hour, I know that the candle is going to be above the 9 EMA because of how close and how this wick is sticking out here. And it's also going to tell me that it's more than likely going to be above the 30 EMA, and it's probably bouncing off the 50 EMA. So let's look, see how close I got. I love this. There you go, guys. And you saw me, I'm making this live, so it's not like I looked to see what was going on. There you go, guys. Perfect. Look at that. Exactly what I said. It's above the 9, more likely above the 30, and bouncing off the 50 EMA. Like I said, this might sound complicated, and you're wondering how the hell I knew that. It's just a matter of repetition. I see this so much. I look at the charts 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you get to learn the price action. You get to familiarize yourself with these EMAs. And this is a language that you guys will learn. I know it sounds a little difficult and it sounds a little bit overwhelming, but you guys will learn how to read these forward and backwards, just like I showed you. I knew what was going on in the 4 hour based on what I was looking at the 1 hour, and vice versa. And you will get this. Let's look at how this is looking. This is looking just like Ethereum. Basically, we're just waiting for a little bit more volume to come in. So let me look at the volume here. Volume starting to increase. The RSI is still in a good position here. We're still right at the 50 mark, so we have plenty of room. I'm just not completely convinced. I want a little bit more confirmation, but it's getting really close where we're going to start taking some position on some of these alts. So let me, I'm actually going to make this a little bit quicker because we are getting really close. So I want to start looking for setups and what alts we want to get into. So let's look at the 4 hour on NEO. NEO, we have, let's see here, let's maybe put all my EMAs on. There we go. EMAs, we're on the 4 hour on NEO. We're below the 9 EMA. But we have a nice little bullish uptick on it. It looks like basically I sound like a broken record. All of these alts, because they follow the same trajectory right now and they're so tied so closely to Bitcoin that they're all going to have almost the exact price action until the confidence comes back in. The reason these look so similar is because there's not a lot of buying and selling going on. No one's really paying attention. So by default, they're going to follow the exact same pattern. And look at this. These are no volume bars going. I mean, there's no real action coming in here. There's no big, like, all this. Look at all this selling and all this, all these buying and all this selling. For the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, not much has happened. So they're going to follow this. Now, when the confidence comes back, then we're going to see NEO is going to look very different than XLM. ADA is going to look different than ONT, because now the confidence is back. The community is now going to choose their favorite coins, their favorite picks. My favorite picks at the moment are ONT, ICE6, ADA. Others might be XLM, NEO, ZRX. And as those people start buying those coins, now the price action is going to be different. So when I do TA, I don't sound like a broken record, and they all don't look the same. So let's look at really quick at these other ones. Are going to probably look exactly the same. Let's look at the 4-hour here. Yep, same exact thing right here. We have the 4-hour candle hitting the 9 EMA. It's on oversold territory, which is great. This one's a little bit lower than NEO. And again, one of my favorites, we have a lot more room to go up on this here. So that's why right now, as much as you guys know that I love NEO, I have 3 favorites: ONT, ICE6, and ADA. I just said it 10 seconds ago, and this is a perfect example why these are my favorite right now, because I'm looking for the maximum ROI. That's the only thing that matters to me. I don't care what the coin does. I don't care how long I've been following that coin. At the moment, what's going to give me the highest return on my investment is what I'm going to be married to at that moment. So right now, this is going to give me a much better ROI than NEO. So this is one of my picks. Let's look at ICE6. Let me set up the indicators. Look at this. Perfect. Just like ADA, better than NEO, because it's going to give me a much higher return on my investment. And that's the reason ICE6 is one of my 3 that I am going to be trading. And look at this, exactly right on. These guys want to break out. They're on the verge of breaking out. So let's look at ONT. And look at that, exactly just like the other ones. This one's a little bit higher than ICE6 and ADA, but still below the 50-point mark. Still well below, at the bottom of the oversold territory, with plenty of room to go up. And ONT has had a huge support from its community. So this is my number 1 at the moment. It's sitting right below the 9 EMA, just like the other ones are. So I'm not going to sound like a broken record and pull up all the other altcoins, because they're all going to look exactly the same. For maybe 1 or 2 that have already broken out, like Waves. For some, they had some news, so that obviously that's gone up 25%. But again, those are impossible to know unless you're already in it or you had some prior knowledge that it was going to happen as far as their announcement, and was able to get in early. I won't play it. It's already been up 25%. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video now, guys. I hope this was helpful. I encourage you guys to listen to it again and again and again. You're going to notice, guys, if you listen to this video a second time, it's going to make more sense than the first time. If you listen to it a third time, it's going to make more sense than the second and first time, and so on and so on. So I hope I was able to be as detailed and as clear as possible. If there's something that you guys want me to cover in my videos, do me a favor, in the suggestion box that Mr. Mo set up for us today, just shoot me an @Bleeding Crypto, so I know that it pings me and it tells me, hey, and tell me what you want to know, what you want me to cover on these videos besides what I already cover. Or if you need me to slow down, tell me to slow down. If you need me to talk clear, tell me to talk clear. I need to know so that I know what to do to help you guys understand and become better traders. So definitely tell me what you guys need from me to help you guys out be better traders. All right, guys, I'm going to upload this video, and hopefully the BTC video is already finished uploading, and then we're going to have a voice chat is coming up next as soon as you guys finish watching this video.